In this next story from the New York Post, Homeland Security Chief Chad Wolf confirms probe into funding of rioters. Homeland Security Chad Wolf confirmed an investigation is underway into the funding of rioting taking place amid racial justice protests and unrest nationwide, and has sent a letter to the Portland mayor urging to request federal assistance so DHS agents can quell the violence. Thank you. As a citizen of Oregon, I am begging the federal government, please come and shut down these BLM Antifa Nazis, or Blammin, because they are a threat. They are terrorists. I get threats from people on the internet to beat me up because I don't believe in fake news. And because I'm not a white feminist, I don't look at everything through race, skin color, gender, religious background, and upbringing. But this makes you a misogynist if you don't let the women push you around. The white feminists, the wah man, the ones that say, wah, 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 this is not fair. I need a Whamburger with a side of fries and some wine on my food stamps. And if you don't give it to me, we're going to burn, loot, and murder. We're going to burn your business down. You won't hire me, you're racist. Quote, this is something that I've talked to the AG personally about, end quote, Wolf told Fox News. Tucker Carlson on Monday night saying that the department is focused on, quote, targeting and investigating the head of these organizations and individuals that are paying these individuals to move across the country. Quote, what we know, Tucker, is that we've seen groups and individuals move from Portland and to other parts of the country. And quote, he continued, we want to know, where are they getting their riot gear, their body armor, their weapons? Where are they getting the funding from this? If anybody has any evidence that the burn, loot, murder, black looter mob is using donations to purchase weapons and body armor, you should DM me on Twitter at RSS Commentary. Quote, I'll tell you sometime. It's under investigation right now, he said Monday night, also confirming the probe. In an effort to take the unrest in Portland serious, specifically, Wolf sent a letter to Portland Mayor Wheeler urging him to, quote, prioritize public safety, and, quote, by requesting federal assistance so agents can quell the violence. Because people are even under threat at their house for posting videos on YouTube, for engaging in effective free speech, and for criticizing the white feminists and the wah man and the wajins and the Kleenex or the Latinx, because the white feminists, they canceled Spanish. They said it was sexist. They said you can't use law or los. You're going to have a unigender. You can't have no romantic languages, so everything's going to be X right now. Like your ex, and now they're a cat lady. Quote, we're standing by to support Portland. At the same time, President Trump has made it abundantly clear that there will come a point when state and local authorities fail to protect its citizens from violence. The federal government has also no choice but to protect our American citizens, the letter continued. Wolf explained in the letter that local law enforcement have made 255 arrests and declared 23 riots and unlawful assemblies since July 31st. Despite this, Wolf wrote, you've stood by passively arguing that nightly violence we ultimately will will burn itself out. The evidence demonstrates otherwise. I would definitely agree. There's no talking sense into these people. I've attempted to use facts with them, and they don't work. People, they're so dogmatic. Like everything, almost most of everything of what these people believe is based on lies, half truths, misunderstandings, and they never really put too much thought into things. They're just like, oh well, it all just started out in the end state, right? So like the white man like kill off the American Indians, smallpox, and so this was, and then they owned slaves, and then they had World War II, and then they did the Holocaust, and the Allies won, and then they had communism, and then there was the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. You're like, all right, it's about that's about it, man. That's more detailed than most people's memory of the shit, dude. Then you actually fill in the details with them, and then it shows you that like the narrative that they've been taught growing up doesn't match the historical facts, but they're so sold on this victim narrative, and it's because it helps them rise up the social pyramid where you got the Antifa at the bottom, and then you got the hood Democrats above them, and then above them you got white feminists, and then at the top you have ivory tower liberals. This is the pyramid because white feminism is a racist form of feminism where they put white women's issues above everybody's else. So they're always going to be above the hood Democrats. The hood Democrats are their source of cheap labor and customers. And so it's a pyramid that you cannot get to the top floor unless you have special connections, family, or you did something special in life where you just randomly happened across these people. But there is a glass ceiling on the other side of it. There are some of the world's most powerful people, and you're not just going to be waltzing up there. I mean, I know this comes as a shock to people who are just not thinking about it, but yeah, there's definitely people at the top of the ivory tower. The ivory tower liberals just work at the top floor. The buildings are owned by Chinese Nazi Party, as well as other powerful interests, such as cartels, money launderers, mobsters, a lot of very savage, brutal people like terrorists. But the Democrats are unaware that they are in this structure, that they have created this cultural Marxist social hierarchy of brainwashed Democrat drones that are sold on the fake news. They're sold. They think the white cops are hunting down the unarmed black men, that I am oppressing all of the women. And in fact, it's true. I am actually oppressing all of the women. It is me. It is me. I am the one that's doing it up in my ivory tower. And you know, the reason for that is because you ain't getting no good dick. President Trump said that he believes, quote, some very stupid rich people, end quote, are financing the unrest taking place amongst racial justice and protests nationwide. Speaking to Fox News during a wide-ranging interview Monday evening, the commander-in-chief made the remarks while discussing the violence and looting that has overrun cities like Portland, Oregon, Kenosha, Wisconsin, elsewhere in the wake of mass uprisings against perceived police brutality. Because people don't understand statistics. They don't understand, well, when you have this many people, you're going to have this many homicides per 100,000 people. These people have never gotten this far in math. I'm an engineer, so I've gotten this far in math, and I know you have to count up the sample size, and then you have to adjust your percents based upon how many instances there are in the sample. But they don't understand this. They just think, oh, these white cops, they're gunning down the unarmed black man. But the truth of the story is that it is just statistics. And if you look at other wealthy countries, they have similar rates of police shootings. There are, in fact, around the world, there are a whole lot of completely fucked up, insane people. I know this comes to a complete shock to you, right? Because when you live in La La Land, all of the facts are half baked and the details are gone. All right? Like, oh, everyone else outside of America is just perfect, right? Right. Like you go to Mexico and the cops aren't gonna shake you down for money and possibly kidnap you, right? Okay, you're on one, bro. You're on one, dude. Go to another country and see how bad it is in other countries. And then cry me a goddamn river about how we actually enforce law and order in this country. And there's a high statistical probability through the number of police interactions that you have with people that there is going to be a police shooting or a accidental death because there are 330 million people in the country. Do the math on it, man. You got one or two of these people happening out of 100,000 people. It's just statistically likely to happen. But to them, all they can see is the forest, the trees. They can't see the forest. They can't. They down and at the bottom, they looking up, they're like, man, all these trees up here, man. These white man, they got me in the ghetto, bro. They put up all these trees, dude. I can't see up out the ghetto, bro. It's the white man. It's Kale. He's keeping me down up in the ivory tower. He's keeping me down because he's a Republican. He wears the suits. He's rich. All right. Okay. It sucks that these things are happening, but it's a statistical probability. If the only thing that you can do about it is change the laws to reduce the number of police deaths, at which time the police are not your target. They're only doing what the voters told them what to do. If you have a problem with that, Joe Magoo Biden passed the 1994 crime bill that created the prison industrial, or that he authored it, sorry. It created the prison industrial complex. Before they passed that, there was hardly anyone in jail for drugs. After they passed it, there was millions of people in jail for drugs. So, if you want to know why you're on the plantation, you should look no farther than Joe Magoo Biden. The creepy Uncle Joe. The groper. The one that walks around naked up in the White House and groping all of the women. We'll get to that later. We have evidence that this is true here in batshit crazy land. Shoot.